What's going on, Washington Commander Nation? It's your boy Rio back with the latest installment on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel. And per usual, going forward, this episode is brought to you by at WFT on the Daily, my guy Ray over at Washington Football on the Daily on Instagram. He's your best source and hub for everything Washington Commanders football. Rumors, fan speculation, and news at the second every day on WFT on the Daily. One more time, at WFT on the Daily. It's the corner you're going to see to the top right here on my overlay, but let's get to it. It's been an interesting offseason, and the offseason really hasn't begun. The Super Bowl just concluded last week. Shout out to the Los Angeles Rams. I envy you. I envy you guys and your success with your fancy new quarterbacks and going all in on your Super Bowl. Shout out to Les Snead for pulling up to the Super Bowl parade in the F them picks shirt, like because that's the same type of thinking that I subscribe to, because I like to focus on the right now rather than the future or the past when it comes to sports, especially my favorite team. But today I'm making my pitch. I'm making my pitch for the Washington Commanders being on Hard Knocks, HBO's decorated franchise that covers a team during its training camp portion of the season with all types of behind the scenes access. And it's pretty raw. It's real. It's to the point I always enjoy it no matter what team was on it. Our arch nemesis, Dallas Cowboys, were featured on it last season. And they added an element to the show where they followed a team during the season, and the Indianapolis Colts were on it. It was also pretty good, but I don't think anybody could compare to the ratings and the entertainment of if Washington franchise was on the show Hard Knocks. Like, we're literally a walking headline and clusterfuck of HBO's greatest hits. And I'll tell you why. And I know what the most common retort and hesitation from fans is going to be, oh, HBO's a distraction, all those cameras. Listen, everything's already a distraction. Every single one-on-one in practice rep is covered by media and treated as a microcosm of what that player is going to be based on one rep. Distractions are always going to be there. And we are the Washington Commanders, formerly Washington Redskins. And ever since we were purchased by Daniel Snyder in 1999, we've managed to do the most impressive thing in the NFL, which is managed to dictate headlines and popular discussion, minus the fact that we've actually contributed anything successful or had any type of relative success at all during his tenure here. So here's why I think we're the perfect team for Hard Knocks, and not just the training camp aspect. I think they should cover us through training camp and through the season. You know what I'm saying? And here's why. First things first, we're the newest, freshest brand in the league. We're still the same football team, but everything's new. Check the logo, check the uniforms. Everything is going to be new going into 2022 for this football team. A lot of the team is new. A lot of the front office is new, but one constant remains. And one of the most polarizing figures in all of sports and worst owners in the history of all of sports, especially American sports. Every good show needs an antagonist. What better antagonist for HBO's Hard Knocks is Daniel the Dweeb Snyder?
You can't keep getting away with it!
He'd be our great value, low budget version of Nucky Thompson from Boardwalk Empire, Tony Soprano. Except, like those characters that they're the main focus of the show, and they do a lot of slimy, greasy, ridiculous things, but somehow manage to always stay on top of their empire. That's Daniel Snyder. This team is riddled in scandal that includes him and things that he's been complicit to for over 2 decades as his owner here while we've won nothing during the process. And he manages to always moonwalk and escape out of any negative energy that comes towards Washington. You know, he's the one not expendable piece. Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David. It's like a show of satire. Look, like I love Doug Williams. I love Jason Wright. Craig Melvin, shout out to him, fellow ambassador of the team. Did you guys see our rollout of the name? The video was good. They should have went with the video, the director's cut of the video. That part of the rollout was good, but the actual like unveiling of the name was the most anticlimactic Saturday Night Live satirical parody I've ever seen. It was like they were all just exhausted with the process and they were just like, here, what's the name, Doug? And Doug Williams comes on, we the Commanders.
What is the new team name?
Doug, what is it?
We are the Commanders.
Show's over. And then we get this sick ass video on Twitter and YouTube of how they transition from the past to the present. That was dope, but man, like it was like a bad episode of The Office. Like, and I love The Office, but this team offers so much entertainment value for Hard Knocks. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous. And topic number 2, we got our antagonist. We got Daniel Snyder. Every show needs a protagonist to follow, and quarterbacks sell tickets and boost ratings more than anything in football. NFL doesn't do a good job of marketing its superstar, but they'll market the hell out of quarterback. And we have quite a plethora of options to choose when it comes to quarterbacks that comes with their own personal story arcs. Let's start with the pipe dream story arcs that would boost the highest ratings. We got, I don't even want to talk about it because it hurts me to think about us having a quarterback like this because we've never had it. But let's start. Superstar protagonist searching for a fresh start. We got Aaron Rodgers, the back-to-back MVP, surefire first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback who has an inevitable divorce looming with his current franchise, the Green Bay Packers. He's also, coincidentally, just had a breakup with his Hollywood fiance, Shailene Woodley. So right now, Aaron don't talk to his family. Aaron is a lone wolf superstar on the latter part of his career, but he's every bit of elite he's ever been. Could you imagine the storylines of Aaron? Shit, his COVID storyline and his lying and misdirection of sorts alone is like, dude lied to the whole world and got off scot-free, which is on brand for a Daniel Snyder football team. We got Russell Wilson, another quarterback that could be an option here. We do training camp in Richmond. He was born in Richmond. He's the scapegoat for Seattle's misdoings over the last couple years, despite the fact that he's still as elite as he's ever been. And the only reason his numbers took a slight dip is because he missed 4 games. He broke his hand. He broke his hand and he missed a month of football and still managed to put up a 25-6 TD to interception ratio. He hasn't lost a step at all. Maybe he's not as mobile as he used to be. Passing the ball, intelligence, and just leader of your new brand. I could not think of a better leader than Russell Wilson to reign in the Commanders era. Like, everything about him and Ron Rivera as a marriage makes sense. And they would probably set the record for cliches said in a press conference over the duration of a season. We got Deshaun Watson, another very polarizing 26-year-old superstar, bona fide superstar quarterback who just missed a year of football and is still in the process of trying to settle 22 sexual misconduct assault allegations in court. Huge date coming up for him as he has his deposition in court on the 22nd of this month. So we're going to find out a lot about Deshaun Watson's situation in the coming weeks. And if we were to acquire him, who wouldn't want to follow him around with cameras and microphones and get every bit of access to this guy, because you want to study, you want to know exactly what he's made of and if he's capable of these things that were alleged of him. And if they are true, get him the fuck out of here. He has no place in the NFL, but I'll let him see his day in court. But just imagine the ratings of Deshaun Watson, another person whose off the field allegations also tie into those of our owner. You see, there's a direct correlation to all of this stuff, man. What team in the league offers you all of this in Hard Knocks? Like, you see how Peacock just did this Bel Air show, which is a dramatic reimagining of Fresh Prince. It's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to just be like a real life, real raw version of what the Fresh Prince of Bel Air was. We would be the dramatic reimagining of Hard Knocks, except this is real life. This is reality for us. So those are the pipe dream options. Here go the more realistic options that still offer great storylines for Hard Knocks. There's always that charming, good-looking, but very flawed protagonist. Zendaya's character in Euphoria, Rue. Vinny Chase from Entourage. Spencer Strasmore from Ballers. Jimmy Garoppolo fits that perfect because he's that handsome, good-looking, charming personality that's adequate at his position, but he's not great. But he's going to bring him out. Women are going to love him. He's an heartthrob. He's like the George Clooney of the NFL, but without that elite level talent that George Clooney has. You know what I'm saying? He's finessed the NFL and they're paying him $140 when he's only actually had 2 full seasons of production in his entire career. Jimmy Garoppolo is the charming but flawed protagonist. Another storyline there, and he's coming off an NFC Championship appearance where he was carried there by his team. It could work. Every good show has a redemption story arc. Jamie Lannister is one of my favorite redemption stories in all of HBO series or series in general. His character went from hated to beloved over the course of 8 seasons, and there are some guys, there's some cast off top 2 picks that have not panned out. They're not quite bust. They are, if you consider the fact of where they were taken, first or second in the draft, but they're on their second and third stops in the league. And if they come here, they're looking to recreate themselves, starting with the first overall pick of the 2015 draft, Mr. Famous Jameis Winston, Mr. Eat W himself, Jameis Winston, coming off an ACL tear. He looked quite capable in the 8 starts that he did for the Saints last year. Had him at a 6-2 record and was pushing and was currently holding a 14-3 touchdown to interception ratio and was looking like quite the successor to Drew Brees before tearing his ACL. Trust me, I seen it here first. I saw what he did to us at FedEx Field. That Hail Mary still runs through my mind every day. It was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. But Jameis is must-see television. We've already seen him on Hard Knocks before. Jameis is the most unintentionally funny person in the NFL. Literally everything he does and says is comedy. And he doesn't try to be funny. He's just hilarious. Everything he does, the way he moves, the way he does drills, these unorthodox ass practice routines he has, everything he does is hilarious. So Jameis, if we go the route of signing a veteran, Jameis is the best option that's available this offseason, and he is must-see television. This dude is a fucking character. And then the next 2, I'm going to tie him into the same. Marcus Mariota, picked 1 pick after Jameis in the 2015 draft. Mitchell Trubisky, both of them, number 2 overall picks who were traded up for that did not pan out with their original team and went on to back up established quarterbacks in their second stop. These guys don't have as much character and as much entertainment value as Jameis, but the whole redemption story arc of if they could put their career back together and turn into a franchise quarterback for the next team that gives them an actual chance to, it exists. This is a surprise redemption arc for some because Some people don't agree with me in this aspect, but Chase Young fits the redemption story arc for me because someone coming as the second overall pick in the draft 2 years ago, winning rookie of the year, he was injured in our game versus Tampa last year. He tore his ACL. It was terrible. I hated to see it because I love the guy. But let's keep it a buck and call a spade a spade. Chase Young was disappointing as hell through those first 10 weeks of the season. I mean, as a 4-3 defensive end, sacks kind of fall to you. And having 1.5 sacks through those 10 weeks, that's not what you expect out of your generational talent, change the league type defensive end. And it's not just a statistical thing. His body language and leadership was off at some points of the season as we were struggling as well. So I want to see Chase in year 3 take that next step. I want to see it. I want to see the double-digit sack season. I want to see the pass rush arsenal, the hand movement that you see from the Bosas. Like, I want to see it. We need to see it. Did you see from the Watts? I need to see it in year 3. So the camera should follow him. Also, the dude looks like a Greek god in a uniform, and he's entertaining as hell. He's a PG County boy. He's not politically correct. He's always going to give you a good soundbite because he's a real-ass dude at the end of the day. So that is a great story arc to follow as well. You follow me? There are tons of reasons why Washington should be the only option considered on Hard Knocks this year. We got the underdog story. Taylor Heineke. I don't expect him to be starting in 2022, but with this franchise, you never know. Taylor Heineke, someone who was on his sister's couch over a year ago, watching football and finishing college so he could be employed as a coach in the NFL because you need a degree to be on the coaching staff. And he came in, he lit the world on fire with his playoff performance and with his relief effort from Askins versus the Panthers in the 2020 season. But when you see his body of work over a full season, you realize that a 28, 29-year-old journeyman whose football experience mostly has come from the XFL, you're not a starting quarterback, but the dude's an awesome story. He has the personality of a star quarterback, even though he lacks the arm talent and a God-given ability of one. So Taylor Heineke is someone you put a microphone and a camera and you follow because his personality, he has infectious energy and people gravitate to the guy. So he's also a plot point. Then we have the rookie quarterback. Is it going to be Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Matt Corral? Rookie quarterbacks are always fun to follow. You want to get to know them. You want to know what makes them tick. You want to know what type of personality they have. When you watch Hard Knocks, you want to see how teammates respond to them. You want to see the rookie skits that they have to do on Hard Knocks, which is always a hit, where they make them impersonate coaches or perform a song or do something embarrassing and get hazed, You love to see the rookie stuff. So rookie quarterback competition is always a winner. And then there's I want no parts of it quarterback that's like the rebound. Like if you've seen the show Insecure, that show is all about relationships and how they rebound from him. The rebound until you're ready for your next significant other would be a guy like Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor, who's already been on Hard Knocks. I'm cool on that, so that's a storyline I'm gonna stay away from. But come on, man. This team, what they thrive off of, what this franchise thrives off of is drama, drama, drama. On the field, off the field, and in the fan base. Shit, the fan base itself is a storyline deserving of a reality TV show. Go on a Facebook group or go on Washington Commanders Twitter. It is a constant 24/7 shit show of toxicity, entertainment, and passion. We're all one big family, despite any of these stupid ass Twitter feuds or internet feuds in the comments of videos. We're all one big family who wants to see this team win at the end of the day. But our fan base alone is a polarizing figure. Something as trivial as this varsity jacket or a pair of signed boxing gloves become a big deal on Washington Twitter. So our fans would find a way to carve itself a niche on Hard Knocks. But the team itself, come on, man. We got DEA raids mid-season swept under the rug. Like we're The Wire or we're Breaking Bad, which is not an HBO product, but we got our head trainer getting Redskins Park raided mid-season. You don't see this shit anywhere else. Scandals. We have like 1,000 women who have talked about how toxic and sexually inappropriate the culture of Ashburn Park has been for over 20 years. Come on now, raids, scandals, sexual misconduct. Are we watching The Wire? Like, what do we watch? This is a football team. Like, I haven't even really mentioned much of playing football because you come to the show for the football, but it's the other things that keeps you watching. Dallas had a fairly decent season on Hard Knocks last year, but the most entertaining part of the season was the drone shot, amazing drone shot, Emmy-winning stuff of their practice facility / stadium complex that they've built. And I'm praying we see something like that when our stadium's built in Virginia. We'll get to that another time. But give me a 3D blueprint of what our new Superdome's going to look like. But it's the drama. It's the drama that keeps us going, that keeps us in headlines. I'm talking a team where fathers sit down coaching staffs and tell them my son's not running the zone read, where our former head coach and a backup running back are in a feud over sharing the same side piece. Capri Bibbs and Jay Gruden, in case you're wondering. That's a real story. They had the same side chick. I believe she was a receptionist or something, but that's not my story to tell. But the fact that we know that these things exist. Sean McVay, when he was here, he was out here, you know what I'm saying, getting busy with someone in the media. Like, you don't hear this type of stuff come out anywhere else but Washington. So, HBO. Come on now. We got guys with mullets. We have entertaining 300-pound men. We got Cole Holcomb, Tim Settle. Change of ownership possibility. It's like Succession. We have minority owners and the current owner feuding over the power structure of the team. Game of Thrones, HBO. This is a layup. If there's one thing I know about my crazy ass favorite football team is that we're built for the theatrics and the entertainment, and that it should be a layup to give us Hard Knocks for the entire season of 2022, because we are a walking distraction in itself. We epitomize and we embody the word distraction, and you can't find better entertainment in this league than the Washington Commanders. So get it done. I love to see it, and the selfish fan in me has always wanted to see my team on Hard Knocks. I love that kind of access. I'm the type of person that I have to click on everything on YouTube and go on rabbit holes on this team every day. So as much access as possible, I want to see it. If HBO cameras and the distraction of a show haven't been the reason that we've lost for the last 25 plus years, then they're not going to be the reason that we are losing now. So there's no excuses for it. I want to see it, and I'd be so excited to see the Washington Commanders get Hard Knocks for the 2022 season. But hey, we might be so good at the show, it might be a perennial thing. We may annually get it, because how do you go up after you've had this type of shit show entertainment on Hard Knocks? But we're going to see. I'll be covering draft prospects. I'll be covering realistic free agent targets, our cap situation, and our infamous group chat. Tay and Todd, Jalen from Bleeding B&G, and my boy Alex Lucas. That's on the way. We've had to reschedule a couple times, but that's coming next week. Stay locked into the channel. Hit that like button. Comment so we can have a dialogue in the comments, man. It's always fun chopping it up with everybody in the comments. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend, tell his mom. Subscribe to Rambling with Rio, because we keep it raw, unfiltered, unbiased, and we always hail and salute to our Washington Commanders. So until next time, deuces.